Yep, we are live. All right, welcome everyone to the welcome everyone. All right, now I'm getting some super feedback here. There we go. I think that should be better. All right, I think we're better. Welcome everyone to the second part due. That echo is not better. Right. Okay. All right. Now I've got it. Sorry. Same thing that I did last time. I'm watching the live video as well as trying to talk and then getting both feedbacks going on. So let's start over one more time. Sorry about that, everybody. I am Greg from the Growler Guys, sitting in the Growler Grotto. Here is what I have affectionately named it. Whether or not that sticks, I guess we'll see. But we have our Drink Local second virtual mega tasting event coming at you live here. Thanks everyone for joining the YouTube stream. We've got a great show for tonight. We have three of our sponsoring breweries with Mobcraft, Glarus, and Hop and Barrel. So we are going to hear from each one of them. And you know what? I think we'll just get it started right away. So let's bring in our guests. We've got Dennis from New Glarus. We have Justin from Hop and Barrel. And we have Brian from Hop and Barrel. So, guys, say hello. All right. Now everybody should be able to hear you.
How's everybody doing? I can't hear anybody back.
No, we're going to pretend they're doing.
You know what? Ask them again. I don't think they heard you.
Yeah, that drives me crazy. How is everybody doing out there? We're doing fine. I don't know. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the view of my ceiling fan. It's a good ceiling fan, in case you want to know.
We actually, this is the second time we've had a conversation about ceiling fans today, so that's kind of funny. Yeah.
That'd make three if you mean the one with Greg. So, I mean,
right?
Ah, Jesus.
It's a tough choice sometimes to pick the correct ceiling fan. I get it.
48-inch, 52-inch, you know, reversible, non-reversible, how much the drop down, just goes on and on.
Right. All right. So, guys, I think now that we've got the introductions out of the way, we can dive into this. Henry from Mobcraft is going to be joining us here just shortly. But without further ado, then let's go ahead and jump into Hop and Barrel's section of the virtual tasting.
Cool.
Welcome to Barrel Brewing Company. Glad you could make it today. Why don't you grab a beer, we'll hop on this tour and start heading off. This is the grain room. We have multiple types of grain in here, from Pilsners all the way to dark malts. This is the start of the brewing process. You end up milling these malts, and that goes up through our auger into a hopper, where it will then be used to mash into our system. We have a few different malts here inside, ranging from light to dark. That gives us from coffee roast all the way to just kind of a bready, good, easy drinking beer as well. We're here at the brewery supplies cooler now. This is where we keep yeast, hops, anything that really needs to be cold. Time every day.
Is the refrigerator for the tuna?
No, this is actually the yeast fridge, yeah. Different yeasts give off different flavors. Lager yeast is fermented at different temperature than an ale yeast. Drastically different. Not a place to keep your tuna though. We're in the hallway leading back to the main brew house right now. Figured we'd stop off at our hop freezer. I know it says cooler, but inside we have a nice variety of hops, ranging from bittering hops to aroma hops. We have things like Magnum, Citra, Cascade, Chinook in here. We generally use hops to bitter the beer, but also do a lot of dry hopping to give that added aroma and finding what works best for each different beer. We're here on the brew house. This is our baby here at Hop and Barrel. It is 15 barrel brew house. We have a mash tun, a lauter tun, and a boil kettle, and then we also contain a decoction loom. We can use that to send mash from our mash tun into our boil kettle as well, where we can caramelize the sugars there and add a little bit more complex flavors. We also have our hopper in the background, which is where the grain from the mill and the grain room comes over, and then it comes up this big pipe right here and into our mash tun. This is definitely where all the magic happens. Sugars are converted or taken out of the grain and then pretty much moved over to the boil kettle, where we boil it, concentrate it, and send it to fermenters to party with the yeast. We're now in fermenter row. This is where the yeast and the beer, they meet for the first time. It's a glorious meeting. The yeast attacks all the sugars in the beer and starts eating away at them, producing alcohol and carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide leaves the tank, and then the alcohol is left in there to form the complex flavors that make up beer. We end up dry hopping, throw in some hops around 60 degrees in the fermentation process, and just let them sit in there for a few days and then drop them out. We do end up reusing our yeast here at Hop and Barrel. We collect from our cones in these fermenters and go right into some brinks. Otherwise, we go straight into another fermenter to pitch the next day. We have a beer just to the left of me, bubbling away right now, that we brewed yesterday. And it'll be one of our newest ones, and hopefully reach you guys soon. We're in the cooler now. We keep our cans, our kegs here. Make this a little brief so you guys don't get too cold. Generally, the beer just sits around in here, waits for an order to come in, so it can come right to your stores locally to you. The more you buy, the more I have to rearrange this, and that's always a fun time. You know what? Thinking about it just makes me want to drink. Probably shouldn't be doing this, but that's delicious. Space Force, my favorite. Well, thank you for joining us on this tour today. I'm glad you guys had a good time. We'd also like to thank some of our partners today. Michigan Hop Alliance, specifically Brian Tennis, Jan and Maltworks, Spring Grove Soda, Pure CO2 Chem Station, Katie's Mom, Lagersmith, Bellmark Labels, Tom from Guzmer, Isaac Fryer, our farmer. We could not do any of this. The malt he takes helps us immensely. Also like to thank every downtown business in Hudson. We're going from Lolo to Ziggy's to Subhouse over to San Pedro and Barker's. We'd like to thank our coffee shop, Wired Robin and Dunn Brothers, and Joe to Go up on the hill. We could not do this without you. It gets me up every morning. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great day.
video there. So we'll bring it back to the Growler Grotto and bring in these two co-founders of Hop and Barrel, both Brian and Justin. And actually, I'm going to get myself my big fat head out of here and get. Let's see. Okay. No. All right, so we'll have Big Head Brian here for a minute, and then we'll go to Justin. Sorry, Brian, I didn't
Cool.
mean that, but you're going to be big on the screen here momentarily.
Cool. We've been doing a few of these things left and right. These video, we've been experiencing the video happy hours. We've had some customers call up and request that we do a video conference with them, and we were blown away by that because we're like, oh, you guys just want to chill out and drink our beer and talk to us? Like, yeah, I guess that. Oh, okay. Like, and they're all at their houses. They're the few of us that are essential and still working at the brewery are still very much together and, you know, doing the family collaborative brewery thing that we do at Hop and Barrel. And so it's cool to know that people wanted to do this kind of thing, you know, and in this time of stuff where we don't know what to do. So yeah, it's fun. But what do you think, Justin?
Yeah, it's a good time to get creative. But it's interesting to see what outlets people are either they're getting pent up or what they're finding to do, or how it's affected their interaction through the tap room. Everyone can look and see how it affects beer sales and all that kind of stuff. But, when you in Wisconsin may be very short term now, but figuring it out's been kind of interesting and how that's going to affect things. This virtual happy hour we started doing, I think we'll keep doing it every Friday just because it's kind of fun. It's given us a few new outlets, and yeah, much like what you're doing, except yours is much better produced, and you look like
I look like what?
You look like you know what you're doing, so that helps.
Well, this is the second time, other than tests before the first time. So yeah, it's actually the software is really intuitive, so I've got it pretty easy. So obviously we've got to give it up for Ethan. Obviously, you guys must have a lot of windows in the brewery. The need for sunglasses was obviously strong throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's just that cool.
Off air when you were showing the video, yeah, I was like, why do you wear? What's up with the sunglasses? But yeah, that's no. If you look at the website, he's clean shaven. He drank the Kool-Aid, so.
Right.
I think he started out, and it was originally going to be like a joke video with a stupid tour and pretend he was drunk and do a bunch of stuff, and then he started doing it, and it actually turned into like a serious with a couple jokes and made.
Oh, is that what
yeah, it was meant to be like a parody, and then he started doing it. It turned into a legitimate. Hey, let's walk around and show things off.
It's not as if people hadn't been asking for it in a sense anyway, so this was a good opportunity to explore that space.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think that's kind of we've been doing a lot of things like that. A lot of breweries have been doing efficiencies, finding out new things. We deep cleaned everything because we had a chance to, reorganized. I think a lot of our regulars, when they come back, are going to have an entire different look to. You don't want to change so much. But there's going to be where we have about how we serve beer, or how the menus work, even, and not just COVID related, but just it's given us a chance to execute some efficiencies. So it's been kind of.
Yeah. I mean that's good. I think it's very common that there is, the whole trying to figure out what you can do better and what you can actually get done while we're all, stuck in our houses and whatever. You might be the only people allowed in the brewery and whatnot. So, but yeah. So thanks to Ethan. We do have a couple of questions out here. It looks like we've got Steven Schaefer asking if Space Force is another beer. I think I can handle that one. It sure is, and it's delicious. And then we did have a legitimate question here. Uh, how is the water profile there in Hudson? Do you need to adjust it for certain brews or go as is?
Justin, jump on that one, man.
Good question.
He loves these.
Yeah, water is my okay, water's not cool, but it's my thing. No, Hudson's water at its base is actually pretty good. It's hard, like most of the water around here, but there's ways to deal with that. What we do specifically, and obviously it's city water, so we strip out all the chlorine. We have a, what was that? Sorry. Oh, got it. No, so it's city water. So first thing, obviously, out all the chlorine, and we build it back up from there. That does take out a few of the other solids. We don't do RO. But Hudson's water, the issue we have to do is we're constantly testing because Hudson has 7 different wells. And we have the water profile for each well, but frankly, we don't trust it. So we do our own testing basically every time the HLT gets filled. So we're monitoring it. We know what we're dealing with. It also lets us know if we're starting to get too much of a buildup of calcium from water recycling through the exchanger into the HLT. So
yeah, we definitely built a lab. When we decided, when Justin and I started talking about starting the brewery, we built a lab immediately. Like, we didn't build the brewery around the lab, but you need to understand that if you're going to put the brains, the brawn, the sweat, the blood, the tears, and the money into becoming a brewery in this day and age, you need to think about how all of it works on a larger scale, and build yourself a lab. Figure out profile. So whoever asked that question, like, very good question. Yes, we mess with the water.
But your base question, Hudson's water is not too bad. It's great for some darker beers. We can build up for what we need to do around that, and then every beer gets its own water profile that gets adjusted per the water.
And that was from Bradley Barth. So Bradley, thanks very much for your question.
Thanks, Bradley. Good looking out. I don't know. He must be a home brewer or someone that knows some stuff. Cool.
We got a lot of questions about the water during our last event, and obviously it's very different everywhere you go, and you can't make beer without good water. So it's always fun, even without a lot of knowledge about the brewing process, it is fun to try and make sure. Or try and ask and find out what struggles or challenges you've hit as a brewer. So definitely a good one. There was a question here from Joe Noskoviak. Do you all mix the lemon breaker in the tanks, or do you mix inside the barrels?
Oh, in the tanks. In the tank.
In tank.
Yeah, and then another. Oh man, I mean, do we give away a trade secret, but like the?
No.
No. Okay.
It's blended in the tanks.
Yeah.
The first summer, I think I know where Brian was going. The first summer we do it was kind of something we made behind the bar, and we were actually the biggest retailer in Wisconsin for that particular soda. And then we ended up talking with the company that makes it. And we effectively sign some non-disclosures and make their soda in-house, and then make the blended beer.
Sorry.
All right, so we want to go to a hop question. All right.
Yeah. You got
now Bradley wants to know, what is your favorite hop for aroma, and then what is your favorite hop for taste?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I think we do have a home brewer on our hands.
So tell him that I appreciate the extreme amount of variables, or rather, I appreciate the question. There is an extreme amount of variables to that question. Favorite hop for me, Chinook. Justin?
I was gonna say that, but I feel like I can't. No, Simcoe for aroma, and probably if you can get the Citra can be funky. If you can get like the non-dank Citra.
Depends on where and when and why and how the Citra.
Yeah, but otherwise, Chinook is probably my overall go-to solid. We actually did it's just in the tap room for now, but we did a double IPA based solely on Michigan Chinook, and it's amazing. It hits on every note just using this one hop, and couldn't be happier with it.
It pulls through dank on like the nose, on the flavor, like everything. And this double IPA we did, the overbearing, it just like a higher level caramel, like an old school double IPA. We made a Chinook bomb essentially.
Yeah,
I think those are best in my mind, but yeah.
Well, I think
guys.
couple of really good questions there from Bradley. Joe Noskoviak, he's impressed that I actually pronounced his last name right. Well, unless maybe he meant his first name and I said Joe correctly. But no, I think he was referring to his last name. I have a leg up because I work with another Noskoviak at my other job. So I did know how it was pronounced. I also used to be a debt collector in a former life where, if you didn't know how to pronounce somebody's name, you were getting hung up on. So that was my college career, was debt collecting. So a little known fact for the folks out there.
I worked at the Air Financial Services where every day was a bad day. Oh, you learn a lot from debt collecting.
Is his dream lost, or is that?
It's very useful in the beer world too.
So guys, I know that we've got a little bit of time here left. Was there anything that you guys wanted to spin off the cuff, or that you wanted to mention about the beers you're drinking there?
Yeah, definitely. Justin's gonna run through some beers, but can you tell the other people with cameras and voice that like we can hear them, but the people can't?
Right. Yeah. So Henry, you're not live yet. You're just in our ears.
We love you, Henry, but no one else can see you.
Right. So you're gonna get your chance, man. I promise. All right. So.
All right.
But you did have some very good comments, Henry. So I appreciate those.
You did. That was awesome, actually.
I mean, you saw me, unflappable in the moment. I just gotta keep my news anchor face on and keep slugging home the beer, I guess. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys want to talk a little.
I work at a podcast studio, so I know how this thing rolls.
Right. So you guys talk a little bit about the beer. I'm going to grab some tickets and get ready for our drawing. But if you guys want to take like the last 5 minutes or so, go right ahead.
Cool. Can you actually shut off the mic of the new Glarus guy? Because all I can hear is gurgling.
Yep, 1 second.
Oh, my bad.
No, it's fine.
No, it's fine. All right, cool. Quickly then, we'll talk about Minnetonka first. This is actually the first beer we ever came up with a recipe for, and it's largely Minneapolis. Was it 2 or 3 summers ago now? Brian and I were both there, and we stumbled across Brees was debuting this Synergy Pilsen malt, and they had a bunch of breweries doing different things with it, and I loved them all. So while we were still planning this rollout, we didn't even have the brewery yet. We were just planning on doing one. We were like, we're building a beer around this malt, and got in touch with them. And I don't want to say we're the first, but we were one of the very first breweries to do a beer with this malt, and have really not changed this beer since we started. It's our biggest seller across all formats, and just clean, easy drinking, crisp Helles lager. If you're familiar with Hop and Barrel, you've probably come across this beer.
We talked about water a little bit earlier. Like, I think that in this beer, the only thing that ever changes with this beer is the water profile and the salts, and sometimes the acid malt and how that works if you're a home brewer out there, if that makes sense. So, yeah.
And then moving on, kind of the seasonal, and since we just talked about Wisconsin, you can't not mention a Lemon Breaker. This one was one we kind of did as a behind the bar tap room little treat, and we talked about it a little bit already, and now it's become our biggest beer. by far, and it's already going extremely well. So thank you, everyone who likes this beer. First of all,
Yeah, we appreciate that. This beer is huge for us. So we were mixing lemon sour soda in the tap room with beer just to make a nice shandy for another product that other folks, when they come into the brewery, who are less inclined to drink beer after beer, mixed this with Minnetonka. That's the base on this beer in particular, and then have a super secret sauce with Spring Grove soda. Yeah, fun.
And I think, there's a lot of shandies. I think there's going to be a few more takes on lemon beer in the next year. I think ours is very different than a lot of the ones you'll see out there on purpose. But yeah, try it. Everyone has their own style, their own preference, but we're pretty proud of this one, and it's going well. So thanks.
I mean, we all enjoy it at the brewery a lot. So
yeah,
that's good.
Another one, which is actually on tap, the grower guys right now as well, is Crooked Grin. This is our go-to standard IPA. It's kind of your classic homebrewer West Coast IPA. I dare say it's a little more West Coast than you're going to get with most Midwest breweries doing one. We keep a multi flavor in the malt profile, but the beer itself is very clear. The hop blend is nothing but a classic American Seas, which is awesome, but it also makes it extremely hard to keep it in spec when you're a Midwest brewery trying to get consistent C hops, and we love our support. We get a lot of our hops from Michigan, but they're not necessarily the you'd expect for your and it's a fun one. We love it. It's because we saw the
Justin, I'm sorry, you were cutting out kind of bad there.
I have tonight, but our focus in the brew like a girl. This is the lady of the place.
Hey Justin, sorry to interrupt.
A lot of people.
You're getting breaking up really bad here all of a sudden. So I apologize. It was just like the last minute or two. If you might be able to, or just like the last minute, if you want to sort of try again here, give us a mic check.
All right. I'll hop back. I'll just say Crooked Grin, our go-to IPA. Okay, cool. It's classic American C hops. It's, we keep it in balance, which is hard with a lot of the sourcing we have for those types of hops, but it's a treat. Really happy with where it's at. And it's just kind of our everyday IPA. Brian's got some Space Force he's drinking. He has some comments on Space Force. It's a approachable everyday double IPA. What's cool about this one is we blended a lot of classic, it's classic and new age. It's definitely a juicy IPA, but it's not hazy. We focus a lot more on flavor than bitterness, but we still leave a very healthy background bitterness. So it's got a little bit of that old school double IPA and a little bit of that new school, and we try to walk the line between them with this one. It makes it very, you get the bitterness that you kind of want in a beer to balance out something that's this high alcohol and malty, which is great for accounts and people selling it, because I think part of the problem with too many hazy beers is people buy one and then try another, or they won't go back to that one, where Space Force is just, it's strong, it's double, and it's crushable all at one.
Yeah, and we have kind of dialed the bitterness back on this beer just a tiny bit, from a it's all marketing, it's all what people want, and we want to make exactly what you guys want us to make. So we've dialed the bitterness back just a smidge and kind of played with how the hops work with this beer. And I don't know, this is one of the last core beers that I ever wrote a recipe for, but like homebrewers out there, because obviously there are some. This is like mostly two run and then for for to play around with any combination. Like, there you go.
All right. Well, really appreciate you guys jumping in there. What's that? Well, really.
Is Justin breaking up again?
Yeah,
Nope, I'm here.
I think we might all be breaking up here a little bit. I apologize to everybody out there in YouTube land if it is breaking up just a little bit. We'll try and make sure that that doesn't happen moving forward. But so I think that we've come essentially to the end of the time for Hop and Barrel. So Justin and Brian, thank you guys very much for being here, for participating. Oh, you just got a big round of applause.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. So with that, now we do have from. Let's see if I can get this out of the way here. We have, and I'm gonna drop you guys off here so people can take a look at this sweet, sweet swag that you sent over for us. Thank you again. All right, so we've got the tin tacker, which is going to be part of the grand prize for tonight. So the smaller prizes are all going to be eligible for anyone that purchased any of the sponsored beers in store here since Sunday. And then the grand prize will be someone that is attending and has commented here on the YouTube live stream. So let's set this tin tacker back over here. And let's do a couple of different drawings. We have a few Lemon Breaker hats, and then we also have a Hop and Barrel t-shirt. Looks like to be a fine quality t-shirt, which is always appreciated. Because, you know, when you get those t-shirts that feel like cardboard, that's no good. All right, so we are going to do the shirt first. And that winner is going to be the very first person to have commented on the stream, I believe, or at least on the Facebook page, is Tom Tio. He was saying that he had been waiting in the lobby, in the YouTube lobby, since about 5:30. So we appreciate you checking in, Tom. Thanks so very much. You have won yourself a t-shirt that you can pick up at the store. And now let's do a few of the hats. So we've got 3 different hats. We've got, let's get a little close up of that one. Lemon Breaker, fan favorite, and also brewer favorite from the sounds of things. Talking to Justin and Brian. So let's go ahead and pull out a few tickets here. Lots of tickets for the event here today. So again, thanks everybody for supporting those breweries. All right, we've got Josh Wilson. Josh Wilson for one of the hats. Joel does not have a last name. Must be like maybe like Madonna or Cher or something like that. It's just Joel. Just Joel. No last name. We're going with single names here. But Joel has also won a hat. And David, also a one-namer. Good thing that they have the phone numbers on here. So we have a David, a Joel, and Josh Wilson that have all won hats. All right. So thanks for playing, everybody. Hopefully some of those individuals are on the live stream here. Okay. So let's go ahead and see if we can get Henry in here. All right. Henry, can you hear me? Oh. And it looks like he might be having just a little bit of technical difficulties on his side, so I do apologize. let's go ahead and give him just a couple of minutes. We'll, take a quick minute break here while everybody refills their beverage with their favorite Crooked Grin or Space Force. I know that we didn't have that one on there, but we did have the Lemon Breaker. So if anybody
Man,
needs to go fill up. Okay. All right, sorry folks, we are working through a couple technical difficulties, so I do apologize. Okay, there's Henry. Let's bring him in. Yeah, I know, and I had to. I thought maybe you had muted yourself there, or somehow we got disconnected. So I apologize. Figured we'd just, do the old trick, turn it on and off 3 times. So how's Henry doing today? All right, excellent. We've got some good sound coming from you, so that's good. So I don't know if you were going to show us around a little bit. Yeah, we have not. It has not made it to the Eau Claire area yet.
No, I can't turn the camera back around, so you're going to get me this way. But
Okay, no
it's
worries.
100% Brett fermented milkshake IPA. So all Brettanomyces on the ferment gives you just like, it's an oxymoron, a clean Brett fermentation, but it is so freaking tasty. So I love it.
Excellent. Well,
But we'll start with a little bit of
us here at the Growler guys and all of our followers, all our friends love lots of new stuff. So you send it our way and we'll put it on.
Fantastic. Cool.
Nick,
Yeah, it's definitely a fun beer. I know another fun one that you guys are getting in the near future is our peanut butter candy time. So that'll be the only keg of that's coming up to your neck of the woods. Big old peanut butter stout with Nutter Butters and Butterfingers in the boil.
Yes. You heard it here first. Henry is promising us at the Growler guys the only keg in the Eau Claire area of, what is it called?
Peanut butter candy time. Like peanut butter candy time, peanut butter candy. It's not actually the song, but that's how it goes.
Yeah, it fits. It fits. All right, so let's give one more reminder here for questions. So as Henry wanders around and shows us a little bit of his establishment down there, make sure to keep those questions coming, and we will make sure to save a little time at the end and pose you a few questions, Henry. But take it away.
All right. Well, first thing I wanted to show you was that beautiful forklift over there. Yeah, we own it.
That looks new.
It's not really that beautiful. Yeah, so this is the brew house right here. It's a very fun system. We were able to kind of custom build it for the batches that we wanted to brew. A unique part about this system is that it has a 45 barrel mash tun for a 30 barrel brew house. So we're able to extract a lot of sugar out of our barley and get really efficient extraction when we're trying to make high gravity beers. And since a lot of the beers that we make are pushing the levels on ABV, we can use a lot less grain. Next interesting thing right here, we've got calandria. And I wish I had a banana right here to show you like a size comparison. I heard that's a thing on the internet these days.
I can confirm that is an internet thing. Banana is used for scale.
But this calandria right here is where the beer actually gets heated. So the two white pipes are where steam comes in, and then the beer recirculates from our boil kettle through this calandria back up and in. So we can achieve a boil in about an hour less time than if you were just to put like fire on the bottom or steam jackets on the outside penetrating in. So pretty fun. All said and done, this brewery that we're in right now, compared to our old facility, we can make a batch of beer in about 10 hours for 60 barrels versus about 10 hours for 10 barrels. So we can make about 6 times the beer in the same amount of time.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, which is a very, very fun efficiency. Back behind me here are all of our fermentation tanks. So these guys are either 30 barrel tanks or 60 barrel tanks. Oh, never mind. Sorry, I forgot we moved to the 30 barrel tanks. These are all 60s over here. So that's about 1,800 gallons of liquid. The smaller tank that we've got over here, which we brought back from our Madison days, is this little 15 right here. So this is what we do all of our nitro beers in. So nitro beers, when we do them, it's not a different batch. It's just the beer after fermentation goes to a smaller tank that we nitrogenate instead of carbonate, and then we package right off of that tank.
What is the square footage of the whole space now?
The brewery is 15,000 square feet.
Okay.
They're 14 and change. So about 2,000 of that is the tap room, and the rest is production. So now I'm walking over to our barrels. So these are all of our clean side barrels. They're about 4 deep, about 8 high. So we don't have a huge barrel program, but still a good chunk. The projects that are in here right now are Hattashaw, which is our like Goose Island, Bourbon County equivalent. We've got that in all sorts of different barrels, quite a few local distillery barrels that we just have 50 gallons of it, and that's all that ever sees the light of day. And then we've got port barrels and cognac barrels for this year's release. So I'm really excited to see how that turns out.
And what did you call them right away? Clean-sided barrels? Is that what you said?
Yeah, so we have 2 sides of our brewery, the clean side and the sour side. And there's a different room that all of our sour production is in. So clean side, barrel aging on this side. And I'll show you a really fun thing about barrels. You see right down here that it's got 13L03.
Yep.
So this is the barrel head right here. We got Heaven Hill Distilleries. This is their Kentucky distillery permit number. Bourbon whiskey, and then 13L03. What do you think that means? Anybody out there on the internet know?
13 liters? I don't know. Let's see what the comments say. Give them a minute. Nothing coming in so far. All right, you can spill the secret.
So the 03 is the year 2003, and then 13 is the day of that year, that the day and then the month that beer went into the whiskey originally went into here. So this whiskey has been aging in this barrel since 2003, and then we got the barrel. So it's probably a 12-year whiskey that it was 2003 until 2015. No, it'd be longer than that. If this is an 03 barrel, yeah, then that's even longer than that. So this is probably a 15-year whiskey barrel, which is kind of exciting. And then as we go on to other sides of it, different distilleries have different codes for how they date code things. I'm just trying to find a couple of my favorites down here. Oh yeah, these ones right here. You see how the band is silver?
Okay.
Versus these bands are a little bit rusty. These barrels are cognac barrels. So they came from a winery producing cognac instead of port wine barrel instead of a distillery making a whiskey barrel. So the whiskey barrels get really rusty, and the older and shittier they look, the longer the whiskey was aged in there. And then if you see a nice, pretty silver band, that's because it was a wine product aged in there for far less time.
Huh. Very interesting.
Yeah. So that's kind of the barrel world. Oh, these ones are super fun. So these barrels are very freaking old. Like, look at them. Like, the outside is, rust and dark versus a younger whiskey, which is still a little silver. You can still see wood. These are actually blackstrap molasses rum barrels. So this one, you know how I said they had those date codes on them right up here? This one says 99. So I know why I was wrong on that last barrel. It said 13. That was 2013. So that was a 7-year whiskey. And then this one says 1999. So this was a Jack Daniel's distillery whiskey barrel that got whiskey put into it in 1999. And then it aged the whiskey. Then this barrel got sent to a rum distillery in Jamaica. And then we picked it up. So this this barrel is from 1999, basically. And it's the third use of it. First whiskey, then rum, now beer.
Well, that should be an interesting beer then.
Yeah, it definitely will be a fun one. We've done one rum barrel aged beer before, and it was called Jamaican Meat Coconuts. Oh no, we got a cease and desist from Seagram's for calling it Jamaican Meat Coconuts, so we had to change the name. So now it's called Nigel's Coconut Delight.
Those big players always killing all our fun.
Hey, Seagram's escapes, man. Very much like a 12% ABV bourbon barrel or rum barrel aged imperial stout with coconut. I can see the semblance. So yeah, and then coming along on another part of the brewery, we're going into my favorite part of the brewery right here, which is through this door. This is our wild and sour room. So again, a lot of barrels, a lot more wine barrels in this side because this is where all of our tart and funky wild and sour beers come from. So we've got totes back here. This is where we do all of our fruit aging. So any of our existence series or this is actually sour support right now, which is our raspberry ginger sour. That beer ages for a while, gets all tart and funky, and then sits on those raspberries and ginger for about 6 weeks. Anybody out there have questions on wild and sour beers? Because that's probably one of our really fun fortes of what we make really well at Mobcraft, and I know a lot about them.
well, let's give them a couple of seconds here. So again, everybody out there, ask some questions. But as far as the sours and stuff, how many of those do you actually do that aren't the crowdsourced sort of internet ideas? Do you have some that are standards now?
So Low Funk is our year-round sour ale. It's a 100% stainless ferment. So this actually is where Low Funk ferments, and then these barrels these tanks right behind me are where Low Funk conditions. So it's a 4% ABV sour ale, American sour. We actually won a gold medal at GABF this year for that beer, and it goes through a primary ferment with a French Saison yeast that kind of gives it this mango pineapple type character. And then it goes through a lactobacillus aging for about 6 weeks where it acidifies. So that's a super fun one. And then from a year-round perspective, we only make that sour all the time. We do have a couple fooders, which are over here in the corners of the sour and wild room. So those are big 900-gallon oak vessels. And in this one, we have our sour golden ale, which is a 6.7% ABV golden ale. Every year that we release it, it's a blend of 1, 2, and 3 year aged sour golden ale. So 900 gallons in here. Every year we drain this about 60% of the way. 40% of that goes into the current year's batch. Then we put some more of it into barrels for aging for 1 or 2 more years. And then it's a 1, 2, 3 year blend of beers that have been aged for different times. That one was also a gold medal winning beer this year at FOBAB, which is the Festival of Wood and Barrel Aged Beers down in Chicago.
And also happens to be part of the grand prize package. So anybody that's just coming in now, make sure that you get a comment out there. Let us know you're here because that, the golden sour, the sour golden ale is, we have a bottle of it here, the 2019. So that would actually be a mix of 17, 18, and 19 then?
Yeah, so that is when we package that one, and I think it's on the back of the bottle, and I usually get these age statements wrong because we put them on all of them, and every beer is a little bit different. But I think it's 7, 13, and 20-month aged sour golden ales.
7, 13, and 23-month barrels fermented with, yep. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
you were very close. I think you said 20 instead of 23, but you know what? We're not gonna hold you to it. This is the grand prize package here, everybody. So again, that will go to someone that is attending tonight. And keep in mind, and yes, we're gonna make you hold out right up until the end. We are gonna call the name, and then you will need to comment, letting us know that you are still here, so that you can win the grand prize. Um, Henry, did you have, if you don't have anything else, we've got questions just piling in. Uh, that that's Zach's. Sorry, just had one of our regulars come in. Their son had borrowed us a TV for our anniversary party, so which was back in February. But since we haven't been open for any other events, he hasn't grabbed it yet. So, all right. So let's see. Well, first of all, Greg Isold wants to know, why didn't you name it Jamaican Me Cease and Desist? Because that would have been pretty good.
Yeah, it would have been fun. Sometimes we try not to poke the bear. That's
You-
the reason we didn't make some small name of sorts.
right. Mitch Beerson wants to know, what's your average brewing time for your sours?
So average is really, really skewed. Low funk takes about 6 weeks. That's the quickest turnaround time that we've got. We don't do any kettle sours at the brewery. Our sour brewers would quit if they had to. So we want to keep them here. And so we just say, fine, no kettle sours. That's their personal preference. So 6 weeks on the lowest side. And then that jumps all the way up to 3 years when we do vertical blends like that.
Nice. And all right, let's scroll back here a little bit. I know there was a couple other ones. Pam Niskoviak wants to know, what is the best sour you make, which I'm guessing is very subjective.
Yeah, it is. Well, the first thing I'll say about our sours is that we always try to make things that are, very approachable to people who are new to the style of beer. Nothing that we make is going to be like 11 out of 10 tart, because that's very off-putting to a lot of people. And then we make a very concise effort to make sure that we have the cleanest sours that we can. So a lot of times when you try sours from a less experienced brewery, you'll get Acetobacter infections, which are the like nail polish remover, like overly vinegar. And me personally feels like that's what really gives me a headache. So when we do our mixed culture fermentations, we really make sure that we're going through a sanitary process when we're brewing the beer, because if you're not sanitary in brewing sour beer, it's the exact same as not being sanitary inside brewing. You're going to get shit in there that you don't want in there, and that's going to give you, beers that still probably taste pretty all right, but not exactly what you're going for.
Pretty all right. That's not really what we're looking for. Of
Not
course,
an answer to that question, so I actually have to answer it. I love our sour golden ale, the one that you're giving away tonight. That's probably my favorite beer to just sit and sip on and age for a while. That's the third year vintage of that we've released, and that beer will be good for another 5, 6, 7 years on top of it. So I love that beer. Probably one of my favorites. And then since our sour program is the sour and wild program, we do a lot of wild fermentations with Brettanomyces and other yeasts that aren't used in traditional brewing. So being able to use those in the process gives a very fun, very complex flavor when you've got the addition of those other spontaneous yeasts. Yeah, I didn't eat today. So, man, I got some Euro pizza. No, we got a little pizzeria in the brewery, in the tap room. It is a little joint venture with a company called Hidden Kitchen. So Hidden Kitchen has the pizzeria here. They have a kind of prep kitchen that's located right across the street from Milwaukee Brewing Company in the Pabst, old Pabst Brewery. And then they also have a food truck that goes around as well. So really fun company, innovative, fun foods. Like this is a Euro pizza. It's got tzatziki sauce, cucumber, Euro meat. So really fun stuff. You got weird, funky beers paired with weird, funky pizzas, and it's kind of a match made in heaven there.
Yeah, sorry, gang. I did have myself muted. Henry could still hear me. The question obviously was, I was curious what he was eating. I knew that he was probably been busy all day, and that was the case. That pizza looks amazing, though, for sure. All right, so Bradley wants to know a little bit about the water. Do you got to do a lot of manipulation down in Milwaukee, filtration, salts when you're making the beers?
Yeah, and so our water filtration and water chemistry above the level that we're at is really, really expensive. So to our detriment, there are a couple styles of beer that we cannot brew well. Like we can't make a pale ale to save our lives because of our water chemistry. We do have Great Lakes water, which is very, very tasty. So it does very well for traditional beers like lagers. And then once you start getting into double IPAs and overly, very hopped things or stouts, those type of beers, your water profile isn't that. I mean, it's still important. Don't get me wrong, but you can't taste those nuances like you can in a very light, dainty beer, like a lighter pale ale. So what we go through here is a dechlorification process, which is a fancy way of saying we let water sit for a bit for all the chlorine to volatilize off. But since we pull our water from the Great Lakes, it's very, very good brewing water. We don't have to do much treatment. We have very soft water to begin with. It's not hard. Like when we were in Madison, we had to do lots of water treatments to get the water where we wanted it to be.
Sure. Yeah, learning a little bit of Surly's water. They actually ended up pulling from the same aquifer, I guess it would be called, maybe, being 7 miles when they moved their brewery from St. Paul or from wherever it was to 7 miles away to their new location in Minneapolis. So it's just really always interesting hearing about the different water techniques that are there and what you might need to do, and then obviously, like you said, what you actually can brew with it. All right, so we got another one. We have, what season of Shark Tank were you on? You knew it was going to come.
Man, I think it was season 3, episode 23 is what hits my brain, but I'm not exactly sure. I know it airs like once a quarter. I had a guy come into the tap room who was like, I just flew from Georgia to Milwaukee and Shark Tank was on here. And I was like, looked it up and it was in Milwaukee. So, I mean, it's still on airplane TVs, I guess, every once in a while.
Right. And I guess from me, and I've watched, I think, every episode. I don't necessarily, and I shouldn't say that. I do remember the episode you were on. I wouldn't have, even thought. I remember O'Leary just telling you that you were crazy. That you were like, he's like, no, wait, you're making money using someone else's equipment, and now you want to make a huge capital expenditure and open a brewery? Are you crazy?
Yeah. And I mean, we were crazy in it. I mean, it's very expensive to start a brewery. I mean, the shell that we're sitting in right now, I mean, I don't own this brewery. The bank owns this freaking brewery. I mean, all said and done, I think we're in close to $2 million into this facility right now. And, it'll be a very long time until we're, make that money back. Fortunately, like just this past year, we finally started being a profitable company, which, in this day and age, loving to make beer, great. Being able to make beer, very good. Being able to figure out what you do wrong and figure out like shelf stability. There are so many things as a young brewery that you don't know that you've got to figure out for the long term. So we're very fortunate to have struggled through all of that stuff. We've got a lot of people who think Mobcraft sucks out there because we made a lot of really shitty beer in 2013, 14. And, sometimes you don't get over that. But then to be able to get to a point where I love our facility, our brewers are, becoming more and more talented as they continue to brew more beer and learn more about it from the technical side. And then, in today's day, it's just it's a wild west out there with how many different beers are out on the market. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. How many are there?
real quick, okay?
What's that?
My phone's about to die, so I'm just going to jump over to my computer real quick.
Okay, sounds good. Oh, so we lost him, but we got him back, maybe? All right, I believe Henry's coming back with us. Henry, he's coming. Oh, look at that, though, people. You heard it from Chris himself. Euro Pizza is on the way. All right, so we are going to need just a minute to get Henry back.
All right, never mind. We'll stick on the phone, and that's just how it's going to be.
All right, no worries, man. All right, so let's get you pulled back up here. And you know what? If it does go out, we really appreciate the time and the flexibility there as far as jumping on with us. So, anything else you wanna add there, Henry?
I just really appreciate everybody who's tuning into this and you guys for putting it on. It sucks not being able to have your businesses open, for you and for me, and everybody who's going out there just trying to continue to engage with beer fans. I greatly appreciate that. Once we get through all of this, it's going to be so much fun to come back up and ding that freaking bell that you guys got to give away some prizes.
Yeah,
Can't wait to do it from the home front. So again, I appreciate all of your efforts and your concept and everything. So
awesome. Well, and you know what? Keep doing what you guys are doing down there. It's a cool thing. If you guys haven't checked it out, for anybody watching, you can go in, submit a beer recipe. People go out, vote on it, right? And then that gets brewed like the following month.
yeah, every month it's a new beer. Due to Corona, we did cancel the April vote, which sucks, but we'll pick it back up. No, actually, we canceled May, and we'll pick it back up in June because we had a backlog. We had like 3 different crowdsourced beers to crank out, and they were like milkshake IPA, double IPA, another milkshake IPA, and we're like, oh shit, we can't have that many milkshakes out on the market at the same time. So
fair enough. Well, that sounds great. Let's before we let you go, and let's bring in our great sound effects. What do you guys think of Henry? Nice. Yeah, well, I mean, I think they are digitally clapping. But here, while I get some tickets rounded up here, David Hayen wants to know, does Mobcraft do a lot of step mashing?
no, we are straight through. We don't have the ability to do that at the brewery. So we set a mash temp. We can do adjustments periodically throughout that, but we don't go through and do a process where we'll sit at a lower temperature and then raise things up throughout.
All right, so we have some great prizes from Mobcraft. Again, thanks to Henry and his team for getting them up here to us, obviously, and distributors. And I'll hang this back here. So we've got another quality T-shirt, and we're going to give these away. You can't give one glass away, so we got to have these as set plus the glasses, the sunglasses, not the drinking glasses, did work out well, and they're just kind of holding the 2 glasses together. Oh, if I could get them in frame. So we are going to have 3 drawings here. One for the T-shirt, one for a set of 3 glasses, I guess you could say, 2 drinking glasses, and 1 pair of sunglasses. And then we'll have the other set of glasses. So let's find a winner. Oh, and then obviously the sour ale is going to be part of. Oh, cow, I'm good at this, huh? Is going to be part of the grand prize with the Hop and Barrel Tin Tacker. All right, so we have a couple winners here. We have Brooke for a set of the glasses. We have Mike Retzlaw for a set of glasses and for the T-shirt. Keith Paul Keith Paul's probably out there. Oh, yep, there he is. Thanks, Henry, he says. Well, now you get to thank him also, Keith, for a wonderful T-shirt. So those will be here at the store for those individuals to pick up. I'm just going to drop these right in here. Oh, and we also do have in the glasses set a bottle opener. Two-sided, says Mobcraft Beer, turning ideas into beer. I like that slogan. All right. So thanks very much again, Henry. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to the next time that you get to come up again. We'll have to hang out and grab a couple of beers here.
Hey, that sounds good to me.
All right. Well, stay safe down there. Obviously, I know that there's a little bit more going on down in your neck of the woods, just with more people and whatnot. So stay safe. Thanks again. And let's go ahead and bring in our next guest.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. See you, Henry.
Bye.
All right. And Dennis up next here. And why can't I get? Do you have your videos on there, Dennis? Oh, looks like you're muted actually, Dennis.
Oh, hold on here.
Yep.
How about
Okay.
that?
Yep. Now we got you. All right. So Dennis from New Glarus Brewing, thanks very much for joining us.
Yes, thanks for having me. I really do appreciate it. Gets me out of the house. Gets me coming to the brewery here. It doesn't happen too often.
Yeah. So it sounds like you've got a little bit of a stroll through the brewery that you were going to take, and
Yes,
show
I
us
am.
around a few things.
I'm gonna give that a shot here. I'm gonna close one on my computer and keep it going on my phone. Is that still working for you?
Yep, looks good. You're sounding good. So
Perfect.
hopefully we can keep good connection throughout the tour. I'll and if you actually wanted to just turn your phone, Dennis, not necessarily the camera, your actual phone, we might be able to get a little bigger picture, and then I can I can get my ugly mug out of the way.
How about that?
Yeah, maybe it doesn't turn in Skype. I guess maybe it doesn't do that. I was thinking like more, like actually turning.
Oh, yes. Give me a hot second here.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh,
now we're gonna need to turn. Yeah, it might not work like that in Skype. So I apologize. All right. Well, let's go ahead and take it away.
Well, first and foremost, I just want to say thanks to you Growler guys for having us here. I mean, with these beautiful times that we're having with this COVID-19, it's always nice to see an on-premise account focus on growlers like you do, especially to help out the on-premise, help out the local buyer, talk about craft beer, because that's what you guys do best. So just want to say a huge kudos and cheers to you guys. And then also want to give a huge thanks to Mobcraft. Henry did a great job. And then Brian and Justin at Hop and Barrel for doing a great job as well. So thanks for getting on the call as well. I'm slowly walking here, so let me know if I start to cut out.
No, I think you're looking good so far. And I mean, for anybody that hasn't been to New Glarus, and I understand that's could be a lot of people out there watching right now. It is an amazing brewery. Now, yes, it might be a little bit in the middle of nowhere. But
yes, we are in the middle of nowhere, half hour south of Madison, about an hour and 45 minutes from Henry at Mobcraft. So I'm kind of in a low reception area here, so you're going to get to see a hallway. This is where we have self-guided tours here. We don't do any private tours unless you get in a hard hat tour. So everything is self-guided. Everything was designed by our brewmaster, Dan Carey, to show off everything in the brewery that you'd want to see. Anything you might want to ask, you can see and talk to anybody that's working. So if you're looking at the screen, you can see a picture from our lab here. We're actually doing yeast propagation here on Spotted Cow, starting up another generation for Spotted Cow. We switch it out every 2 weeks. Generations for yeast are usually done once a month, except for Spotted Cow, because we do so much of that. Roughly 70% of our business is Spotted Cow. So as you can see, our lab is here. I got some other lights off, but once you see a lab is very much the same. A proud thing to say on behalf of the brewery is we have more people in the lab than we do as a sales team. So for us, it's all about world-class beer. It's all about sampling beer too, as I'll show you our sensory lab. We do taste panels 3 to 4 times a day. We want to sample every batch that goes through here at the brewery. We want it to taste the exact same that you would want to taste it out at Growler Guys, getting a growler, or out at the bar, or even out to retail buying a 12-pack can or 6-pack bottle. So we take huge pride in what our beer tastes like before it gets to you. So I'm going to keep walking here, and it might get a little loud. We're actually still brewing right now, even with limited sales for no on-premise. We're still going pretty strong here. So I'm going to step back here and kind of show you a picturesque view of our brew hall. So all 4 kettles, you can see the nice, beautiful copper. These were all imported for breweries that happened to close down in Germany within the last 20 years. This brewery was actually put together in 2006 and then opened up to the public in 2009. So I'm a part of the sales team, so I can't go as far in depth as Henry just did for you, but I'll show off some what inside the kettles look like, what we're doing right now. Like I said, Spotted Cow, looks like we're done for the day, finishing up, cleaning up, so you can see how clean those things look.
I mean, they look incredible, Dennis.
And we do 100 brewer barrels at a time. So we do 200 halves. As you can see, the lauter tun here starting to fill up now. We're doing our last batch of Spotted Cow for today. So very cool that we get to see this, especially in these times here. Normally we're brewing about 50 batches a week. We're doing a little over 30 this week. So you can kind of see what this COVID is come to be. And then moving to the brew kettle, you can see Spotted Cow there. And once again, you can see how close, standing next to these copper kettles, how beautiful, bold they look. So very beautiful. The brewery is, I would say, it's our #2 marketing tool. The beer is #1, of course. The beer speaks for itself. Dan does a fantastic job. Whirlpool, by the way, just getting ready before the next batch goes through. But like I said, our #1 marketing tool is our beer. We tried to make world-class beer. And if there's a close #2 or a 1B, it's this brewery. Like Greg said, we actually get over 250,000 people to visit the brewery each year. So a lot of people come through on the weekend and weekdays. It is, if I could walk through the courtyard, it's starting to get dark out here. If I could walk through the courtyard and show you, we serve at 5 different stations, all about 100 feet apart, so we can serve anywhere from 5,000 to 7,000 people on the weekend. So it's a madhouse here in the weekend. I know a couple questions you've asked about earlier. We're talking about water. Well, here's, for us, we have well water that we have for both of our facilities. We also use city water as well. We do have to take the chlorine out of it, of course, to get it down to the mineral base, the base that we want to. After that, I would be making up if I knew exactly what we did. But you can kind of see the tanks. These all water. So our heat exchanger moving from the brew kettle to Whirlpool, taking the heat exchanger and cooling down that wort. They have to take that heat and then warm up all the water to start for our next brew. So all these tanks are filled with water, and they're all about 120 to 140 degrees already. So perfect water for boiling and brewing the next batch. So we try to be as energy efficient as possible. As you can kind of see, if I don't drop my phone, how beautiful, how clean this place is for being going on our 13th year up here at Hilltop.
Yeah, Dennis, that is really incredible. If you wanted to keep walking, or I'm not sure where you're going to sort of end up here, but I do have a couple of questions if you can hear me.
Yes, go ahead.
All right, so have you been affected by the CO2 shortage that we've heard about?
For us, we have a little bit. Good thing since we've been in business for 27 years, we have a very good relationship with our CO2 supplier. So we're monitoring it, but right now we're doing pretty well. If we're watching it, we're actually keeping both of our plants full on CO2 at all times to make sure if anything does happen that we're equipped to take this on.
Yeah, at least be prepared there. That was from Brenda.
You never know what can happen.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember taking a tour, doing the Anheuser-Busch tour. I mean, I was a teenager, and I knew about the hop increases and whatnot, and God, maybe I was 19, something like that. But anyways, I mean, they made grow their own hops, so it's like you aren't as affected nearly as
Yeah.
much. So that was from Brenda.
Well,
Greg says, beautiful brewery. When is the new self-guided museum going to be ready?
well, I was going to walk through there, but that's a great Deb question. Because Deb works on it whenever she has time. And now that she has turned 60, she would like to get it done, but I don't think she's in a rush to get it done. It looks fantastic. I would love to show you it off, but I think Deb would turn around and go, it's not ready for everyone to see yet. So
Sure.
To be determined when it comes to that. So I'm walking through this.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
Keep going.
there was one more question. A couple years ago, the New Glarus put out Edel Pills.
Edel Pills. Yep. Edel Pills was actually the first beer we ever made at New Glarus Brewing Company.
And is it coming back for a guest appearance is what Donna wants to know.
I would love that beer to come back. I am very lucky to sit down on when we do beers for the next year. In my 6 years now, I've got to sit on for 4. And every year I've asked for that beer. And every year I get the look of, why are you asking that question? We make plenty of phenomenal beers. Now, I think that's one of my favorites. And now that this is recorded, we'll see where that goes. But Edel Pills is one of my favorites. I wish it would come back. I do wish it would come back.
I think you've got a few fans in the crowd because there are a few that are saying the same thing. Go ahead.
So I'm walking through a fermentation here, and this is a little bit different compared to most breweries. Since Dan was able to help design this brewery here, we were able to put in stanchions like this. And you see a lot of other breweries have hoses laying on the ground. You have to do a lot more manual work. Well, when Dan decided this, we wanted to put all fermentation tanks, and you can kind of see, as you see it there, that's a big 400 barrel fermentation tank. It's actually up on stilts. It's not close to the ground. And for us, we can use levers like these to move the beer around, to go between CIP, cleaning out, CO2, air, all that stuff. We can do all that stuff with just moving levers rather than moving hoses. So Dan was very smart on, if we can train the right people, we can keep them healthy. We can keep them here for the whole portion of the career, 30, 40 years, rather than, I'm sure the guys at Mobcraft and Hop and Barrel can talk about labor intensive working in fermentation is. Moving around tanks is, it's a joy to do. And sometimes it messes with your back a little bit.
Right. It can, certainly.
I'm in sales. I don't have to deal with that. So that's a good thing for me. Here is, so about 2 years ago, we made the news.
Oh, Dennis, we're losing you. Turn back, Dennis. All right, so I think we might have lost Dennis momentarily here. So what I'm going to do actually is, let's see if we can get this. Dennis, we lost you there for a minute.
This is one of our newest additions, and with this,
Dennis, we lost you there for a couple
coming
minutes.
back out. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can now.
Okay, I'll stay closer to the Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
but yeah, we did a new expansion on our cellar about 2 years ago, and that helps us out get capacity to about 350 to 400,000 barrels.
Yeah, Dennis, I think we're losing you again.
I'm gonna move slow from here on out for you.
There we go. Yep, we can hear you now.
Okay. Any other questions you're getting at this point?
Yeah, actually, Bradley had one here. Said, do you trap the CO2 released from fermentation to essentially reuse that?
I would love to have an answer for you, but I don't know that answer. I'm sure we capture some CO2. How much that is from each tank, I don't have an answer for you on that.
Sure.
And then we're going to walk down here. I'm going to show you our bottling line and canning line. We're just finishing up cleaning for the night. We had a long day of running. So to our left here is our canning line. This canning line came from Waukesha, Wisconsin, from KHS. This is our newest addition since June of 2016. We're making 8 different cans: Spotted Cow, Moon Man, 2 women, and then 4 seasonals. Then a sprinkled seasonal in there. So cans are becoming a big thing in the craft beer industry. I'm sure you see it. Most of your people that are online know cans are becoming more and more popular with the craft beer community. So this is a Wisconsin.
And
we're
obviously doing a lot of the crowlers.
Correct. Which is a lot more efficient. You can get your CO2 basically down to nothing, rather than your regular growlers. So, with here too, we can get that oxygen in there to less than parts per billion. So that gives longevity, gives shelf life, even gives taste profile for that beer a much longer time than the bottle can.
And
going
Bradley,
on top.
Oh, go ahead.
Going on top of that too, the packaging for these packages too, all the corrugated cardboard, the cans, all come from Wisconsin. So we're trying to, with this package here, it's an all Wisconsin package. Every 12-pack or 24-pack of cans you pick up is all Wisconsin made. So for us, we try to invest in Wisconsin as much as possible. I think that's a big thing for Wisconsin breweries today is how can we reinvest in Wisconsin's economy the best way possible.
Yeah, and with that being said, Dennis, actually we had a question from Pam that she asked if there was any plans to distribute into Minnesota, and I'm guessing probably not still.
The answer I'm going to say is no. We right now are still running up on capacity issues. We still have some. Our bottling line, for instance, here is going on 20 years old. And we can only run 300 bottles a minute here. So when we're trying to make 8,000 to 9,000 cases a day, it makes it a very long day for our people. So there's still some things we'd have to add on to this facility to help that. So I would say production is a big thing why we don't leave state. But also having, I think the nostalgia too is pretty cool. You know, talking about over the news or, I mean, so many publications that you've seen, it's pretty cool to see New Glarus brought up in like an area you were like, how did you even think of that? Why did you even, what's the thought of mine behind that? So I would love to sell in Minnesota. Being a sales rep, I love to sell beer. Selling beer is awesome.
Dennis, you're breaking up a little bit there again, bud.
I think the best for New Glarus right now is to stay where we're at and continue to.
For sure. You know what?
Do you have me now?
Yeah, we have you. You're cutting in a little bit, in and out. I'm just gonna, since we're having a little bit of troubles there, getting a little bit deeper into the brewery. I'm just gonna share my screen here. I'll keep you. Your audio will still be running, Dennis, but I'm gonna share my screen. So I gotta. Yeah, there's me and my wife on our wedding day. But really, what I was trying to show to everybody here is. Oh boy, that's not what I want. Here we go. Maybe? No. There we go. No, still no.
I can start walking back to full
Yeah.
base here.
I was just trying to show a couple pictures of. Oh, here we go. I think I got it working now. Trying to show the picture of your the courtyard and the brewery here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the courtyard's a beautiful place. I mean, the first year we had that up, we didn't have it laid out landscape the way we wanted to yet. We actually wanted to see how the consumer was coming to the brewery and wanted to operate around there. Distance-wise, where they wanted to huddle up. So for us, that's how we designated our beer areas for there, and then built that beautiful courtyard around it to help out consumers where they wanted to go and spend time at the brewery.
Yeah, it is not letting me show my Safari window. All right, well, let's get back to the tour then. And Dennis, if you want to keep walking, we have had not necessarily other questions, but lots of people saying that they love the new Glarus bottles because they're pry-offs, and then they get to keep them for their home brews, which doesn't surprise me at all.
Yes, I actually got a few questions on that. Our bottles, yes, Pry-Off is awesome, but we did switch to a new glue that we're able to find around here, and the labels are much more difficult to get off. So one thing that we figured out how to do better, but the home brewers a little more disappointed in that because they can't get off the labels as easy.
Right? Yeah, they definitely don't see it as a improvement. That's for sure.
So I'm going to walk back towards home base since we're getting a little bit reception issue here, and I'll get back to. You might be able to see it, you might not.
Yeah, I just don't know why this isn't working here. Let me see if I can move this over. No, I'm still not able to share out my screen for whatever reason. But
Okay.
I'm telling you, for the people online, the brewery, the courtyard, the whole thing is gorgeous. I have never actually done the tour, but I did play golf right next door. And
Beautiful course, beautiful
oh,
course. I try to frequent at least once a month.
well, I mean yeah, definitely a beautiful course, and you can see it, get a pretty good look at the brewery there. Like what as you drive in. So yeah, it's excellent view of it there, and I'm
Do you
gonna
want to
have to
check
try
and
to
see
get
if
up
you can
to.
pull me up here again? I'm back at my computer.
Oh, sure. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like we've got your audio there, Dennis. We just don't have video yet. But I tell you what, gang, the prizes that we've got here from New Glarus, we've got some sweet hats. Oh, there we go. There, Dennis, you're back. All right. So just showing off a little bit of the swag that you guys sent up for us. We've got a work shirt sort of thing. You want me to do my best Vanna White? Huh? Looks good. Oh, I think you're muted, Dennis. Um, no, no. I just can't hear you for some reason. Go ahead and give me a mic check there, Dennis. No, I'm getting nothing all of a sudden. You may have to mess with your audio there just to make sure that your speaker is now picking up from your computer. There we go. Oh, you went back to the phone. All right.
I switched back to the phone. How does that sound?
Yeah. Perfect. It's perfect. So I was just going through, showing people all the sweet swag. We've got T-shirts, we've got work shirts, we've got one really sweet Staghorn sweatshirt here. We've got a whole pile of on only in Wisconsin stickers that we'll keep around the store. We'll come in, ask for one. We're not going to give all these away, but we'll do the two shirts, the hat, and we've got, oh, I forgot about the glassware. We've got two glasses. And then we've got three tin tackers that are also, so we'll do the Welcome to Wisconsin. This one is going to be for the grand prize. So that'll go over here next to our other grand prize packages. And then we'll have we'll do hat and shirt together. So 1, 2, 3. Glasses are 4. We'll do 5, 6 different prize packages or drawings for New Glarus, but didn't want to cut you short here, Dennis. So if there was anything else, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you now.
Perfect. So I'm drinking Kid Kolsch. This is our new release, just hitting the Lee Beverage Market. We're actually doing orders on kegs, so it's up for you and Chris to decide if you want a keg or not. But that is our Kid Kolsch. It actually won the Beer Barons Beer of the Year for 2019. So that release here, it's an open top fermented Kolsch, a fantastic brew, easy drinking brew for the summer. So look forward to seeing that out on the shelves now. The only other thing I wanted to say is thank you to all the people out there to buy new Glarus, traveling to get new Glarus, going to Growler Guys to get a growler. I know it's an interesting time, but just want to say thank you for the support. It really does mean a lot. We are looking, as you may have seen news today, bars are potentially opening up soon, but continue to stay safe, and we want you consuming New Glarus or enjoy New Glarus as often as you want. So a huge thank you for support on behalf of the brewery to all of you out there.
So we do have and obviously thank you to you as well, Dennis, for giving us some time, and also to, just the brewery and management and owner, things like that, always setting up the swag and, giving us some time and whatnot. So appreciate that. We have one question. Do you have a separate wild yeast brewery?
Yes, we do. We actually have 3 breweries. So we have a Riverside facility that started back in '93. It's actually still in production today. That's where we do our 4-packs. We do all of our Thumbprint Series beers comes out of there. We have Hilltop, of course, which we walk through here briefly. And then we do have a Wild Fruit Cave as well, and that's where we do all of our lambic sours. We do have a cool ship. We do 100 brewer barrels at a time. And much like Mobcraft and those guys talking about sours, yes, we do have our own separate facility for blonde and brown sours.
All right, excellent. Yeah, sorry about that, Dennis. I muted
No, all
myself
good.
in the live stream, but then didn't mute the Skype. So I was talking to Ross there for a minute and got in your ear. So all right, so we've got some. Oh, Bradley says some OxyClean and almost boiling water. Let's soak for 15 minutes. Usually don't have any issues from any label. So
good. That's good. That's good to hear.
Little tip from homebrewer there. Of course, Goo Gone or lemon oil can take the remaining off. All right, so good. Linda's here. Welcome, Linda. All right, so I think we could probably do a couple of drawings. So I apologize to anybody that was on during our last virtual event, and we had not a great setup for giving away all the prizes. So it's better today. Thank you. So we have a whole bunch of prizes, obviously from New Glarus, and any other questions out there. It doesn't look like it, so we're going to jump into the prizes. The first winner that is going to be the work shirt is going to be Ben Prindle. Ben Prindle, congratulations. We have, oh, look at that, it's Samwise. Samwise comes away with a shirt and a hat. All right, so the next one we're going to do is for the glassware, the 2 really nice glasses that they sent up for us, and that is Amy Christensen, maybe? Amy Christensen, I believe. So those will be the 2 glasses. All right, and for the sweatshirt then, Mark B, and we will give you a call. Mark B. And let's get these mixed up a little bit here. So we have the Spotted Cow Tin Tacker, and that is going to be, all right, I've got 2 tickets. Jonas Koviak is the Spotted Cow winner, And Dennis McSorley is the, what is that? Totally Naked winner. So we will have those tickets on here. All right. Is there any other questions out there for Mr. Dennis? Yeah, Samwise likes his prize. Okay, so I think we are going to move towards our grand prize drawing then. So give me just 1 second here. Okay. All right. So what we've done is we have taken the comments that everyone has left. We've numbered the individual names. If you left multiple comments, hey, there's Dennis chiming in that he won something. You didn't get extra bonus points for multiple comments, unfortunately. But we've got all the numbers in a hat, and we have a list with all the people's numbers next to them. So we're going to give this a little bit of a shake and give it a draw. See, I'm not looking, I'm not peeking. This is all legit. Can't rig the lottery. Number 10. And number 10 coincides with Andrew Craigness. He's been a frequent flyer in the virtual events, so congratulations. Congratulations, Andrew, and all of our other winners. And congratulations to all of you that hopefully enjoyed another virtual tasting event from the Growler Grotto. Geez, that is a mouthful. Maybe we need to go with something else. I don't know. But thanks again, Dennis. I think that Henry and Justin and Brian have all dropped off as well. So I think we will be cutting out a little bit early here tonight. Unless you had something to add, Dennis?
No, I do not. Thanks for the time. I do appreciate it.
We appreciate you as well. I will make sure that Chris hears about this Kid Kolsch because it does sound delicious. And I don't know, people. There's news out there. We might be reopening. So I don't know. We might continue this anyways. We might take this show and bring it in-house and have people. It'll be like a live podcast. I don't know. We'll see. But keep your eyes on the Facebook page. Make sure to get out there and drink that new Glarus beer, the Hop and Barrel, the Mobcraft Beer, because they are our great sponsors. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Have an excellent evening. Stay safe, and we hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Thanks, Dennis.
Thanks, Greg.